Hello and welcome to Dr. Delagraentiss Presents the Brandon Delagraentiss Show. The show within the show within the show within the show. I am, of course, Brandon Delagraentiss, the first and some, otherwise known as my brother Corey would say, oldest of the Delagraentiss children. I am blessed, happy, and grateful to be here in Houston at this time, in this space, in this place, sharing the room with my father, the Bishop, Dr. Mateo Bolding Delagraentiss. I come as one, but I stand as many. And one of the many that I have been blessed to know for more than 20 years when I started off in the Houston theater scene. I said earlier in my interview with my father, while attending the University of Houston, here in Houston, I knew based on, honestly, systematic racism, that I could gain an excellent education. But some of the practical skills might be best gained in other spaces. And one of those spaces was the Encore Theater. Mr. Harold J. Haynes was the founder, but Professor Robert Sims gave the invitation. And at the time, the show was to be young, gifted, and black. And I, at the tender age of 19, came to the show as a stage manager and got a chance to meet my next guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome talent extraordinaire, Harmone.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great. Great intro.
How you doing, Hawk?
I'm fine. How are you?
You're doing well,
I'm great.
Okay.
Here's those numbers. 19 years old, all of that. It brings back a lot.
Because that's when we met each other.
Yes.
And I have to say that one of the things that I remember is looking up what it took to be a good stage manager. Because I come from a family, my father taught us that we do everything in a spirit of excellence because we serve an excellent creator.
That's right.
So I went to the library. That was back in the time when the library was your best friend.
Yes.
And I looked up how to be a stage manager. And I read the book and the handbook. And I heard from you, from Latrina Rice, Curtis Vaughn, from others at the time. Who was there back then? All those names?
All those were there.
Okay.
Those are the originals.
That I was one of the best stage managers you all have.
You took it very seriously. Thanks, Dad. You were very serious about your role.
I was on my job. I was getting the teas.
Probably one of the best.
I was bringing the thank you.
Yes.
The best. Thanks. And I was getting the lemons and the honeys. I was doing other things because I wanted to make sure that y'all were comfortable.
Yes.
Now, fast forward past the production of To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, and then there was an audition for Shout. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Now, the thing about it is, because I had just met all of these wonderful new artists here in Houston who have been doing the thing for a while, not only as an actress, but also as a recording artist.
Yes.
And so here I am at 19, about to turn 20, going into audition for the lead role of Brother Choir Director.
Yes.
Now, y'all have done the musical before, and with the same group of people, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Who, because of how Mr. Haynes is and his pedigree, had to audition again.
We had to audition every time. Even though we were leads, that didn't matter because the next person could come along and, out audition. Yeah. As he would say. But yes, we had to audition every time we did the show, and we've done it years and years. So.
But I'm curious though, what did that, because I don't know how old you were at the time, but I assume you were younger than me, but at the time, around 19, 20.
I was older than you.
No.
Yes. What? Yes. Okay. Older than you. Definitely.
Okay. But I'm curious, what did that do for you as an artist, hearing that you had to re-audition for roles you've already done?
So very good question, but I initially came up under Mr. Robert Sims.
Okay.
I went to Madison.
Okay.
And he was the one that started us with "You are as good as your last show, only as good as your last show." Because in high school, the parents didn't like that, but he would make us do the same thing.
Okay.
Just because you were in a production didn't mean 9th grade you're in it, 10th grade you're in it, 11th no special treatment.
Okay.
So coming from that and going to Harold J. Haynes, and he would tell us that it was not new to me.
Okay, it was an easy transition.
It was an easy transition.
No, but this is interesting because we're living, of course, now in 2024 with a complete and total different generation. No offense to anyone watching on social media,
Yes.
but a social media generation that maybe hasn't had some of the same
Technical training.
or challenges. Because when you're young like that and someone is saying it doesn't matter what you thought you did the last 6 months, now it's time to do it and do it even better.
Yes. So when he made us audition every season, so we had seasons at Encore, it would keep you on your game.
Yes.
Because some of the characters, as in myself, Sister Melanie, and Latrina Rice played Sister Mouth, those were signature characters.
Yes.
But we still had to audition.
Yep.
And we have had some beautiful understudies that will keep you on your game because you're like, they're pretty good at this, you know. But they were, you know, I think that we put such a stamp on those characters
Yes.
that it was a little hard to just kind of, you know, come in. But we did have some good understudies, but it kept us on our game to answer your questions, that to know that you just don't have it in the bag.
No, but it sounds like a good balance because you were challenged and at the same time you continue to challenge yourself. So here I am with all of these, like I say, veteran artists, and I'm coming in. They're seeing me as the stage manager. I think some thought that I came to hang out.
Right.
And then I had a script, and I was reading through, and some were like, "Oh, okay, are you auditioning?" I said, "Yes." Oh, baby. And then it was my turn.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us what happened.
Even myself in the moment, I was like, he's killing it. That he's bringing something that we've never seen. And what I loved is that you were nothing like the one before you. And that, to answer your question, everybody has their own niche, everybody has their own moment. It was your moment.
But I have to say this, thank you for sharing.
It really, really was.
But I have to say this is really important for everyone that's listening, because even if you're not trying to be an actor or a singer or being in the performing arts, everyone has their unique talent and ability.
Yes.
And I think what's really key is for you to find that.
Yes.
Whatever it is. Because even if you're doing something in a field that seems over satiated, your unique ability, your way of doing it is different.
It's only one you.
It's only one you.
Yes.
So now, starting from how I met you as this very talented artist, before I knew it, and I don't know how many years passed, but I saw you as a star hair artist in Houston. I sent my own mother to you. That's how much I trusted your talent and ability. Because it was the first hair artist I had seen that was really making, specifically melanated women, hair move.
Healthy hair.
Healthy hair move, live and breathe without an over preponderance of chemicals. And so I'm curious, what prompted that shift, that transition? What was it that made you?
Well, actually, the hair came first.
Okay.
Yes, so you're learning a little something today. So actually, I was doing hair, and I was in the band in high school at Madison. And I was under, I can't think of his name now. It'll come to me.
Okay.
Portis, Mr. Portis.
William Portis?
Yes. And which they would kill me. But yes, yes, he was. I had a brain for it, but Mr. Portis, Aaron Portis, and we used to have flag girls, all of that, and I used to do their hair at my home. And my dad would allow me to turn our living room into a hair salon.
Okay.
So, back in the days, it was the ponytails and the this and that. So I would have 3 or 4 girls at a time. I would have magazines out, all of that. And then I'm going to say around 11th grade, Madison didn't have the cosmetology program.
Okay.
So I started doing it at one of my aunt's hair salons.
Okay.
And then I just found a school by me. And by 11th grade, I was already taking it.
Wow.
So I went to school. I would do half days, and then I started going to cosmetology school. And then going from there, I went into salons and started building my clientele. And one of my clients, her name is Benita, she no longer lives here, was a member of Encore.
Oh, wow.
And invited me to a show. And not knowing I was in it in high school as well, I was in theater as well, band, debate, all of that. She invites me to a show, and I fell in love.
Now, see, this is the interesting thing, because I know that a lot of people are focused on, they're focused on focusing on one thing in order to be successful. I understand being creative.
Mm-hmm.
So this brings me to my next question, because the next thing I knew from theater or hair to theater, then you're being a private chef.
Yes.
So now we already know, I was like you could cook, but what brought about this shift? Is it another way to be creative? Is it food art, or what brought about this shift?
You said it very well. I am a creative.
Okay.
So whether it be on stage, behind the microphone, because I did sing and tour for a while too, open for a lot of people, Mint Condition, Neo, a lot of people.
Name.
I have 2 albums, all of that.
Name dropping.
But anyway, it all works hand in hand. I love to create, right? Whether that be the form of food, a show, being on stage, I love to create.
Okay.
So when I was doing hair, I started doing people's bridal showers and everything, makeup, and then I had my daughter.
Okay.
When I had my daughter, Shelby, I didn't want to be in a hair salon Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Got it.
So I had already been catering for theater, like cast parties and stuff like that. I started doing like their baby showers and stuff on the side, their food. And then it just grew from there.
Wow.
So on Fridays and Saturdays, which typically a hairstylist is there, I would work like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, be off for my daughter during the day on Friday and Saturday, and just cater in the evenings. So that's how it started.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you've grown to,
So it went from there to I retired from hair. I will say that the culinary industry did allow me to do that.
Wow.
I retired from hair after 20-something years, and then I went head on into culinary.
Okay.
I started self-taught, but in 2016, I went to culinary school because I wanted to up my game.
Yes.
Just as you said, nothing against caterers or anything that are self-taught, but I wanted to up my game because I knew the long-term goal was to work for the best of the best, so I had to be the best. So I went to culinary school in 2016, graduated from there, started ghost chefing. For those of you who don't know, that means you work for the top people, the top caterers, and they hire you because you cook things that they can't cook. So you may be eating for another restaurant or chef, but I'm cooking it.
Hey.
And I didn't care because I was like, I love what I'm doing with my hands and creating. And then from there, it just started to go to ball players, lawyers. I worked for DAs, and then I became pretty much removed from just catering to coming into people's homes and cooking for their families.
Got it.
And that is my joy. That is
your core business.
That's my core business now. I'm in the home. I cook for them Monday through Friday, some Monday through Thursday. I might travel with them when they're on vacation, and that's how that grew into that.
Okay, so not assuming you have any spots available, but if a family wanted to be able to book you out, do that. Where's your
Well, now it's availability.
So there are no.
Now I had to grow to that though.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. I mean, it just doesn't start off that way, guys. I did a lot of work to get to where I am now, and I now mentor people on how to become a private chef, it is not as easy as people think it is because you're in people's homes, you're under NDAs, you can't speak on things. So I mentor a couple of people now about that, but you have to work to get to there. But yeah, I have a point where it's like I'm not taking any new people right now, but you know, I work hard to get there.
You never know in the future.
Yes.
You're so blessed.
Yes.
I've got one more question for you before
Yes.
I bring my father back up. We've talked about a lot of your journey, and of course, I know that we've only touched on tidbits. But if you had to choose one goal for the future, and it can be career related or completely and totally unrelated to work, what would that one goal be?
I would actually want to just be a mentor to people of the arts.
Okay.
So I would love to mentor, and I still do it now, but I would love to mentor people on singing, the industry, cooking or culinary, the industry, and acting, the industry. And I do it all now because I have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
I look like that. I've been out a long time. So I have a lot of knowledge in those
everything
areas,
done
but
yourself.
mentoring is my next, that's the thing.
It's the next phase.
Yes, it's definitely the next phase because I want people to not have to go through the stumble blocks that I went through. You're going to go through some, but I know that I've helped a lot of people, you know, not go through some of the things that you don't have to go through.
No, but I love it, and I have to say, as I close in any case this segment, that you've also helped me, and you've helped me not only by being a great example when I was 19 and 20, but also being one of the few people, specifically from that time, that has been kind enough to stay in touch. And if you've ever been away from home, and specifically if you are living anywhere where you are out of physical reach with your family or loved ones, it means a lot for someone that you knew back then or back when to just check on you every now and then, or just let you know I'm praying for you, or I'm thinking of you. So thank you for thinking of me.
welcome.
It's one of the main reasons
I
why
love
I
you.
think of you. I love you so.
I love you. I love you.
We'll be back in just 30 seconds and round off the show with my father. But thank you, and we'll see you back in just 3 and 0.
Thank you very kindly. Ich bin Bishop Dr. Montreo Boving Delagraentiss. Welcome God to Dr. Delagraentiss Present. I have enjoyed this show so much that I would want to pay whatever the price was just to see the remainder of this show. You two multi-talented young people are just amazing, and you kept me on the end of my seat. My dearest, you need to know to reach Brandon Delagraentiss. What do they need to do?
You can go to Instagram to Brandon's Gospel, BrandonsGospel, Brandon's Gospel on Instagram.
Good. I'll say it one more time. This is for the people who are over 30.
For people who are over 30, you go to www.brandonsgospel.com. For people over 30, www.brandonsgospel.com.
Good. So good. And then how do they reach you, my dear?
I am on Instagram as well. Harmony, Harmone, made it, MADE, it. And it's the same on Facebook or email. Everything is Harmony Made It, HARMONE MADEIT.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, I want you to contact this television broadcast, and you tell me if you want these two back on real soon. Okay? I know you're listening, you're plugged in, I see you in public, and you tell me how great the show is. No, it is not just Bishop. It is this synergy that we create for the real people who are contributing mightily to the societies and communities that they serve. They're giving you their heart. And it's not plastic, you can tell. It's not scripted. This is live. And that's how we love it. Thank you, son. You did an excellent.
Thank you.
job. As always.
Thank you for making this happen.
Yes,
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
it's great.
There are some little harmonies and some little Brandons out there
Yes.
who are saying, I want to be like them. Because no matter who you are in life, there are people, whether you know them or not, who are watching you. And they want to emulate you. And one of the reasons is because people haven't been taught, honestly, who they are. And so they go through life trying to find themselves and try to live vicariously through other people's lives. Some of you know what I'm talking about because if you yourself or somebody you know and love have been watching a soap opera, or whatever the soap opera they're watching. Don't do that. Don't go do that. Or you at the movie theaters and you're seeing, well, you know, I'll have to give it to you straight. And you see white characters and you hear that to the basement door, and they say, "What was that? You hear that?" And the melanated people say, "No, and I don't want to hear that." But Caucasian people are known to say, "So see, you got a match?" And they go, "Something sticky on my feet." Something and they shine the light down. That looks like blood. and then they see a headless person laying up against the wall, and that's when they awaken and say, "Woo!" But they're saying it by themselves because all the other people have already left the building. Not just Fraser. They've left. Elvis said they've left the building. Okay. People are watching you and I. From that perspective, what would the two of you say to the youth of the globe? Because your impression is global. Ladies first.
The first thing I would say is never give up. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. I know it sounds so cliche, but it is the basic formula. I've never given up. I've always moved in faith. I know that anything I do that he has me. And I don't move out of fear. So I always go for it. You said something earlier, failure does not mean that it's over.
No.
And you just keep going and don't move out of fear. That's my biggest tip.
I love that.
I love that too. Fear is false evidence appearing real, but it's not. Brandon.
Yeah, I love that. I love that trusting in the divine that you really are okay and more than okay, really quantum leaping into your desired future. I would say tell the truth. St. John chapter 8 verse 32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Yes.
And sometimes we get busy with other versions of things, false evidence appearing real, and what other people have said and other people think and other people's opinions, and even your own opinion that may not be based on the truth. The truth of the matter is that anything that you can't stop thinking about is not an accident. And specifically those things that have been put in you prenatally are already predestined to succeed. So all you really have to do is walk it out. But tell the truth. Be honest and tell the truth to yourself. And let me clarify, the difference between honesty and truth is that in honesty, you are responding based on facts. But truth is based on the truth itself. It's based on that kernel, that nugget, that root on the inside of you that doesn't need other confirmation. It is the truth because it is. It stands on its own. So tell the truth, not just to other people, but specifically to yourself. This is the desire that I have. This is the dream and the goal. And this is what I'm willing to do to receive it and to have it. And then do that.
I like that. I love that. In fact, I am an advocate of that in every area of my life. Take note. The majority of my viewers, Europe, Asia, Africa, whatever continent you're on, you've been exposed to, quote, a fact that in 1492 Columbus discovered America. Now, one, you should know that Columbus could not have discovered America, and it was already populated. Two, in Columbus's diary, he says in 1492 he didn't step a foot on the American soil. Three, Columbus, when he did see people, because he was looking for India and creating a new trade route, he called them Indians. Now, not only is that a lie, they were not Indians. But why is it in the psyche of the masses today that they're still Indians? You know, these people were not Indians, never were. And yet, my story is, if Columbus did come, and he did see the people, and he said, how the interpretation should have been, how in the heck does he think this is his land? How? What? He was lost. And we still push that narrative. And so there's so many falsehoods that I don't want to go into, like COVID-19. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to tell you that COVID-19 is an experimental gene therapy. I'm not going to tell you that because you're not going to believe that. But if I told you a lie, you'd believe that because it's on television. And people have a tendency to believe whatever they see on television. A politician can lie through his little raggedy teeth if he's on television. But we have been indoctrinated, and the Bible backs that up, that we're in that season now where people will believe a lie over the truth. And so when we are going to, and we teach both by precept and by example. So while you are still inhaling and exhaling, teaching and reaching, take some time to do your due diligence and then turn around and to that circumference that's around you. Because even the doubtless have a deep appreciation of the truth, absolute truth, and they can learn anything, even if they don't know how to spell their name, if they've not mastered the English language. And many of you adults haven't mastered the English language, particularly in the South. And so, that little toddler with a droopy diaper can watch a commercial and drop that diaper and can sing that commercial because it's not a physical, auditory thing. It's a spiritual thing, and everything is energy, and energy is everything. You and I individually have specific frequencies and vibrations that identify you and nobody but you. And so the truth of the matter is, if you don't teach them, who will? And then if you don't teach them, what will the others teach with the ulterior motives? I'm not talking about the Illuminati. Well, you can't say that on TV, can you? I'm not talking about Bill Gates, who's already said emphatically that we've got too many people on Earth. We need to kill them. We need to kill 10 to 15% of them. Are they working? Is that for real? His wife says, oh yeah, we've already started in Africa. Why Africa? Because people have that propensity to look for something or someone who's different than them and point the finger, let them be the scapegoat. And unfortunately, the masses have believed and what I call poison biscuits. You know how I know you believe that? And many of you watching this show, you believe it truthfully, because when you've signed documents, particularly legal documents, if they ask about ethnicity and say check off which one you are, if they say white, you say, no, that's not me. If they say Hispanic or any other Latin language, you say, no, that's not me. And then they go right on down and say, whatever they said, depending on what your age group is. If you were back in the day, grandma, grandpa, they would have said colored. After that generation, they would have said Negro. And in your generation, they will say probably black. And you go, check black. I say to you, poison biscuits. Because every individual is attached to geography. If you go Bible school, then it's Jesus of Nazareth, Paul of Tarsus, Abraham of where Abraham was from. The list is long, but they're all attached to geography. Where is Negro land? It doesn't exist. Where's colored land? It doesn't exist. Why do they keep giving you stuff that doesn't exist? Because you've been buying poison biscuits and eating air pudding for the majority of your life now. You believe those lies, and you keep hearing anything. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. And if you keep hearing it, and you believe that you're a minority, and you do, while there's more melanated people on the globe than anybody else. Yes, that's a fact, absolute truth. But you believe you're a minority because they told you you are a minority. I say, stop eating the poison biscuits, because that's what it is. Study to show yourself approved unto Yahweh, a workman who needs not be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. I'm going to hold every one of you responsible for coming out of that stupidity. Yes, I said it. Coming out of that ignorance and believing it just because the majority says it or the majority is doing it. You are an individual. You are spirit. That's another lie. You think you're your earth suit. If you went to the moon, you'd put on a space suit. If you ever came back, you'd take the space suit off. This is not your home. You have an earth suit for traversing here. But when you finally go back home to heaven, you'll take this earth suit off. It's not going to heaven and it's not going to hell. And so it already knows that. You might not know it, but your earth suit, your body knows it's not going to heaven, it's not going to hell. So when it says this, hey, party over here, party over here, oh Lord God, there's a party over here. And so it's going to work you down because that's all it's got. Don't buy that poison biscuit. You are spirit. You have a soul and you live in a body. Don't let the body control you. Don't let people control you. I'm going to say this and I'm closing. I'm dropping the mic on this. It's passé for you and I to think it is a privilege to wear somebody else's clothes and somebody else's name in the collar and the sleeve and everywhere else. Why don't you join me and putting your name on your stuff and then putting it on social media, and I guarantee you, you'd make bank. I challenge every one of you. No, stop, turn around, look and see what you're doing, because as a group of melanated people, we make more than $2 trillion per year. What we do more with that is commercialism. We will spend before we will save. We will waste and think it's a good time. Yeah, I said it. That's not a good time. You're going down broke alley, and when you need those funds the most, you're going to come up with that lie. Well, I'm going to pray about it, you know, and then when it doesn't manifest that way, you're going to come up with another lie. I hear you, church people. Yeah, well, you know, he may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. That's a lie. Did he say that's a lie? He called my grandmother a lie? You and your grandmother both. If you're saying that, you're lying through your little raggedy teeth. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. Why? Because if you understand spirit, and you know our Creator is spirit, He is omnipresent. He's omnipotent, all powerful, and he's also omniscient, all knowing. But the first thing I said is he's omnipresent. What makes you think somebody who's omnipresent ever has to come? He's never left. He's still where he was, and he's everywhere. So when you do that stupid prayer, yeah, I said that too. Yeah. Okay. Dr. Delagraentiss at yahoo.com. Reach out to me, touch me. Yeah, I challenge you to do that, because that prayer that says, come in the room, the Lord, you come in the room, and when you come here, I need you to go down to the hospital, cut and tooth down there, and you need to go down and touch cut and tooth. But when you finish that, if you don't come by here, if you don't stay long, what kind of nonsense is that? That's ignorance on steroids. Just I said it. That's ignorance. And I'm not going to touch your pastor. I'm just going to say, Pastor, help your folk. Tell them the absolute truth. Okay, will you do that for a bishop? Just tell them the absolute truth. Tell them that King James took books out of the Bible when the Bible had 84 books. He kicked books out because he didn't agree with them. But he's not the only one. Constantine hired people, over 40 men, to go and rewrite the Bible the way he wanted it to be written. So how do you know what's real and what to memorize? How do you know what's true about the word? Well, you just said King James was a liar. Well, he murdered people, including family members. So I don't think he qualifies as a good source to tell me anything about what our Heavenly Father says, because Holy Spirit is here to teach you and I. And Holy Spirit will tell you absolute truth, lead you into all truth. Okay? But these other people, and I said King James. Yeah, King James didn't even know our Lord and Savior. He didn't. He didn't. And for those of you who believe in being saved, he was never saved. He never said it. He never tried to be saved. Okay? King James was a murderer. And King James wanted to control 2 different countries at the same time. Is he greedy? And if he thought you wanted his territory, you got, head removed. So listen, my dears, there's a lot of nonsense going on in the church, but in the political arena as well. But it's not going to happen. And in the educational system, oh man, don't mention the educational system. You know, what is Florida doing? Not wanting you to know the truth of what happened to. And then that's crazy that you think everybody was a slave. No, everybody was black was a slave. They came here, they were a slave. That's another lie. I know that hurts, you know. Well, we've been saying, no, we know everybody, we came here, we were in Africa, we came in as slaves. No, you didn't. Some of you did, and thousands upon thousands of you didn't make that trip. You ended up in the ocean, yes. But yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people were slaves. Watch this. Every ethnicity on earth has been a slave at some point in time. Okay, I know this doesn't sound good, but I gotta tell you the truth, absolute truth. Get over it. Stop being a slave. You think slavery ended? I'm going to tell you, it just changed faces. It's still here. You are still being enchained. Now they enchain your brain. Stop it. Know who you are. Before that continent, which is the largest continent, no, it's not. No, yes, it is. And just like Israel that you love, I love everybody, so I love Israel too. But Israel, the landmass, has been been sold off. Africa itself. But that's not its first name. Akubalan. Look it up. Study. It has some other names too, but the biggest one was Akubalan. Now, my dears, just remember these 2 people were beautiful. I'm not trying to be beautiful. I came to be the force to jack your little butt up and say, stop buying poison biscuits just because they're on sale. Don't do that. I mean, literally, shake yourself and say, okay, I'm going to go back and start studying and find out who we really are. Because once you find out that you are still kings and queens, but they don't want you to know that. You came from greatness, but they don't want you to know that. And not one of you who are on drugs or have relatives on drugs are the source of the drugs coming into this country. You're not. Somebody else with power brings them in and makes sure it gets into the black community. I'm through. Mic drop. Much love to you, because I know you're but an attitude away from greatness. Just do it. Just do it. Just be it. Arrivederci. Tot ziens. Doei. Doei.